Morning, Mr. Wilson. My name is Maezel, and together with my groupmates, we'll be representing on the ethical consumerism for Shop Here and recommendations. So Shop Here has deliberately made the decision to move towards the sales of ethical products. While many studies reveal that there is a growing market for ethical products, this decision did not translate to an increase in revenue. As consultants, the objectives of this research is to critically understand the growing market of ethical consumers' behavior in order to capitalize on this segment, develop an integrated business strategy for Shop Here, and a mixed method sequential exploratory research was conducted to address the research question on the factors that influence ethical consumers in making purchase decisions. As seen on the diagram, this research design involves analyzing both qualitative and quantitative data in a systematic and successive phases where results are then consolidated and triangulated. This addresses the research question at a greater depth and bridges gaps between limitations and of a single approach. Firstly, qualitative data was collected through interviews to provide an overall framework of the research. Subsequently, quantitative data was collected through surveys where questions are constructed based on the findings on the first phase. Cross-analysis of both data are then integrated to increase validity to triangulation, explore new aspects, and address the research questions. 4 hypotheses are outlined based on the systematic literature review. The significance of this report hypothesis includes how price, availability, information, and corporate social responsibility influence consumers' purchasing intention. Firstly, for qualitative, a semi-structured interview was conducted. This provides flexibility and depth through probing questions that may raise up valuable insights that are deemed important. As seen on the slides, these are the steps that we took to analyze interview results, and once data has been collected, each interview were transcribed and analyzed by at least 2 researchers, where they are coded and clustered into themes. From the interviews, these are the codes and themes that arise. A total of 9 interviewees were selected through convenience sampling. Convenience sampling was used for its simplicity and its ease of research, and is also more cost and time efficient. As seen on the table, there is a good spread of gender and occupation from the interview participants, which provides us a more accurate representation from different groups. I will now hand over the time to Calum, where he will share with you the results and findings from the interview. Calum, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Maezel. Good morning, Dr. Wilson. My name is Calum. And in the hypothesis of price, we observed that a key factor in this research is willingness to pay. One of the primary concerns raised in the interviews were around the premium price tag of ethical products, which highly dissuades people from supporting ethical consumerism, even if they wanted to. However, people are generally willing to pay a higher price for ethically produced products so long as it is within their means and if they are financially comfortable. This coincides with a study that we took reference from by Bissinger and Lukens in 2017. The findings pertaining to information reveals to us that there is a limited awareness of ethical consumerism amongst the masses. An interview raised a very important issue in this case that is relevant to Shop Here, which is brand equity. Lack of awareness for brand equity essentially umbrellas a brand image, a brand identity, brand awareness itself, customer perception, so on and so forth. This is a limitation that directly affects the exposure of ethical consumerism, and consumers are not as aware on it as they should be. Next slide, please. A consistent factor with the respect to findings in availability is that their ethical purchase intentions are affected by the limited availability of alternative products. Some factors for this are a lack of alternatives, inaccessibility to the product, or maybe that searching for these products takes too much time and effort, or the variety in styles are just inferior to that of their not so ethical counterparts. Similarly to information on brands and ethical consumerism, more people and businesses need to be made aware of having a better understanding on the importance of corporate social responsibility. The findings in qualitative data with respect to CSR gives us an understanding on how a company's ethical and social responsibility affects and influences consumers' opinions and purchase decisions. Based on the findings itself, our participants are generally more inclined to patronize a business that excels in corporate social responsibility. The research confirms that CSR directly impacts consumers' opinions and purchase decisions. This further reiterates the need for spreading awareness by companies through CSR to support the drive for ethical consumerism. Next slide. For the quantitative research, we conducted a 5-point Likert-scaled survey questionnaire where we were returned with 95 completed forms distributed by convenience sampling due to time constraints. The sample demographics of these participants are well balanced, made up of 42% aged between 18 to 25 and a good mix of individuals aged 26 and onwards up to 51 and above. Diversity of annual income is well spread as well, and the mix of genders is nearly equal. Next slide. As observed in this table, the 95 responses returned results whereby all 4 hypotheses were proven to be supported by the t-test. Therefore, the research was effective and informative. By Pearson's correlation coefficient, price has the strongest significance against purchase decisions, purchase intention, with a figure of 0.433, and followed by a strong showing under corporate social responsibility, and the other 2 hypotheses have also proven a positive correlation. Leon and Shivonne will now discuss our evaluations after triangulating the quantitative and qualitative data. Leon, please.
Thank you, Calum. Next, I'll talk about findings for the hypothesis of price and information. From the findings, it was found price is one of the factors that influence purchase decision. Consumers are willing to pay for premium price for ethical products. However, there are several considerations that also affects this willingness. This includes the product quality and ethicality of sourcing and production, and reasonableness of the pricing. This was also established in a study conducted by Shivonne in 2019. On the other hand, it was also found that the majority of those who are not willing to pay for premium price are students. It could be that students do not have the financial ability to afford green products that often come with hefty prices as compared to working professionals. Next, when asked Thank you. When asked about reliability of ethical claims, 46% were neutral, while 23% disagrees and 2% strongly disagrees. This shows the skepticism in the ethical information available. This has been further established by Wagner, where studies have shown that consumers react negatively to disconfirmed information and hypocrisy. Other than skepticism, studies have also shown that there is a lack of information and marketing on the ethical products. In the questionnaire, 46% of the respondents agreed that there was a limited number of marketing campaigns. This was also further supported by the interviews conducted, which revealed that lack of information and marketing for ethical products has influenced the purchase intention. This is also evident through the t-test and Pearson correlation value where price influence one's purchase intention. Thank you. I'll pass to Shivonne.
Thank you so much for your time, Leon. Next, I will cover the findings for the hypothesis of product availability as well as corporate social responsibility. I will then end off the presentation with some recommendations we have come up with for short here. From what Calum has mentioned earlier, 7 out of 9 interview participants revealed that one of the factors that affect their ethical purchase intention is the limited availability of alternative products. Other factors such as inaccessibility of shops, requirements, time and effort to shop, as well as the lack of variety in style, also affects consumers' purchase intentions. It is found that consumers are more willing to purchase ethical products given that they are easily accessible and convenient in stores. This is also supported by the study done by Wiederholt and Martinez and Achaya that the lack of availability of ethical alternatives has been established for ethical consumerism on a whole. Next. Corporate social responsibility, moving forward known as CSR, is instrumental to a business reputation. Our research reveals that participants are generally more inclined to patronize a business that excels in CSR. It also highlights that increased awareness on CSR will increase purchase intentions. Overall, CSR can be very subjective to different people. It often is used as a strategic marketing tool on the basis of making a first impression. It is established by Shim and Kim in their research that while understanding of ethical consumerism is along the same line, perceptions of a firm and consumer behavior varies. Next. To wrap up the research surrounding ethical consumerism, we have come up with a few recommendations for ShopHere to consider the feasibility of moving their business towards that direction. For price, ShopHere must price their products reasonably, such as include student promotions, in order to increase the sales and attract a homogeneous group of consumers to patronize the brand. Also, the fact that price served as a salient influence also shows that marketing activities launched should focus more than just reducing pricing, as reduction in pricing alone is no longer feasible. For information, it is recommended for ShopHere to engage digital marketing and communication strategies to enhance consumers' awareness about ethical products, as it is found that consumers have a positive attitude towards companies that are transparent. Therefore, ShopHere practices and claims should be transparent to consumers. For product availability, ShopHere should make themselves more accessible by utilizing distribution channels such as their pre-existing online platforms. In order for their online platforms to be successful, it has to be developed in a way that it is user-friendly to the consumers and provide detailed information about the products, which also addresses the lack of knowledge about ethical products. Lastly, for CSR, it is recommended for ShopHere to participate in charitable and Go Green initiatives to bring more volume to the green, which will in turn give them more exposure in the market and along the way boost profits. So, some of the limitations we have faced whilst conducting our research are time constraint, the lack of budget, limited resources, as well as the limitation in the geography, which is only based in Singapore. Since ShopHere is located in Australia, further research on Australian consumers are recommended in order to provide more accurate recommendations for ShopHere. In conclusion, the research has shed light on the openness and willingness of Singaporeans to ethical consumers, opening up more potential strategic development options of companies, which may otherwise cost more. More studies can also be conducted to support the above claims. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Just quick one, right? Probably I missed to catch something. First of all, are you using sequential exploratory for your research? So basically you do quali first, then quanti?
Yeah, mixed method, sequential.
Okay, so may I know what's the sample size for your quantitative?
95.
I mentioned 95 completed forms.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't catch that part. Okay,
sorry.
I just want to. Okay, let me share with you my comment. Right.
Sure.
First of all, I think the executions of the research have no problem. Right. I think flawlessly I call it. All right. But when it comes to discussion I think that some of you will mention about the some supporting, but I think it's not a lot, not a lot. So should support more your what we call your findings with more literature.
Secondary data. Okay, understand.
Not just the data itself. It's a concept. For example, you say price is the most important factor. Versus, I think if I catch it, information is your least, right? Is it? Let me check.
Yes,
yeah, information is a least. Why is it so? Now, it's the same as your literature.
Right.
Right. So, and then the other point probably I want to highlight. I think most of you will came out the research framework first. But remember, the research framework is supposed to develop after your qualitative, right? Because you see sequential exploratory. But a lot of you actually started with the research.
For the framework, I actually explained that the framework was based on the first phase.
Oh, okay. No, normally the sequence supposed to be after your qualitative.
Oh, for the presentation. Right. Okay.
Yeah. The flow, right? I said the flow is okay, except this part, right? So normally, because after the interview, then you develop the framework, right? The research framework for quantitative, because research framework is for quantitative. All right. So that's part. Recommendation. Now there are a lot of recommendations, right? If you ask me, but I just like. I think it's good to explain why do you recommend this, right? And some of the recommendation probably is difficult to be executed, right? By shop here. For example, I saw the word strategic. Why? Right? Then I saw the word specific and yeah. So I like, if I'm a shop here, I look at it, why strategic? But overall, I think it's a good presentation. I'm okay with this, right? But just as some of these things probably can improve in the future. All right, I think that's all for me. Right, good luck.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have a good journey of researching for the past many weeks. Okay, or struggle. Okay, all right. Take care. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.